Well, the third day of the heat wave brought a few 100-degree highs and another round of records, but it is the last day of the heat wave, and now we get ready for. Actually, it's not a curse of the onshore flow. Now it's the blessing of the onshore flow, because that's going to help to cool things down over the next couple of days. We'll talk all about that. The weekend, we've got some thunderstorms on the radar and a very, very big birthday today to talk about. All of that and more on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And you can support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And if you want, get a birthday gift for the person that we're about to mention by shopping our referral link on Amazon. Just search and shop, and Amazon sends us a little bit of coin for sending you there. And it's a really good, easy way not only to support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, but it actually keeps the live stream commercial free. And I know that makes a lot of people happy. So shop our referral link pinned to the top of the chat board on Amazon. Also, Tempest by WeatherFlow. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system. Join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link for this is on the descriptor to this podcast on YouTube, right under the title. Just go ahead and get one and use the coupon code SUMMER2025. If you do, you will get
10% off, Joe.
Yes, 10% off. And as I said at the beginning, we have a very, very special happy birthday tonight, Joe.
And who might that be?
Her birthday today matches the record high that was set in Newark, New Jersey of 100 degrees. She is 100 years old today. Your favorite. I know you and I both love her very, very much. She's a huge fan. She's a huge
Mrs.
fan
Bundy.
of the. What's that?
Mrs. Bundy.
No, not Mrs. Bundy. I don't think she's with us anymore. But she's a huge fan of the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. She lurks in the background every night, and it keeps her hair. Well, it used to be red, so maybe it's not quite as red. The beautiful and wonderful June Lockhart.
Wow.
100 years old today. Yeah, that's right. Christinapedia got it. June Lockhart, 100 years old today. God bless her.
She is one of the rare actors or actresses who has managed to maneuver through not one, not two, but three relatively large-scale hit television shows. I mean, usually, like for example, take George Reeves. He was so identified with Superman that presumably he was unable to get any other acting jobs, which supposedly led to his committing suicide. But June Lockhart, of course, those of us of a certain age, we grew up with Lassie on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock, and she played Timmy's mother on Lassie. And then after Timmy decided he didn't want to be Timmy anymore, I think John Provost told the people at Campbell's Soup, who was the sponsors, no, I don't want to be Timmy anymore. They immediately moved away from that storyline into something else for Lassie. That ended June Lockhart's association with Lassie, but then she moved right into, and she got lost in space.
Yes, she did.
She was on Lost in Space from, I think, 1965 to 68, and then after that went bye-bye, she stepped into the role of the new proprietor of the Shady Rest Hotel when the late, great B. Benaderet passed away in 1968, and they needed a new female lead. Who better than June Lockhart to step into the role? And she stayed with Petticoat Junction until the end of that show in, I think, 1971. So it's quite amazing, depending upon what show you grew up on or grew up with. She was pretty much the star of three different.
Yeah, she did. And just such a likable human being. I mean, you never hear a bad word about it. I'd be hard pressed to find a bad word about her somewhere. She also did an episode of Perry Mason. and various other, she'd show up here and there on various sitcoms. So anyway, I just saw that today and I thought, I remember when it happened last year. I meant to mention it and I forgot. Um,
And wasn't her father Gene Lockhart a
right, and her
very
mother was Kathleen Lockhart. And if you
acting
see the
family?
1940 version of A Christmas Carol, you could see June Lockhart when she was about 9 years old, because her
Wow,
father, and her mother played the Cratchits.
isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, if she is indeed lurking out there, I want to
Happy
wish
birthday,
a
June.
very happy birthday to you, June Lockhart.
All right. So, day three and the final day of this uh, heat wave. I always had that rule about 5 days above 90, and I guess some places did do that, other places didn't. But we did have 3 days of extreme. By the way, an interesting record, which is Philadelphia had 3 days in a row where the high temperature was 99 or higher. Which means that unlike New York City, which had 3 consecutive days of 90 degree plus of 100 degree plus weather in its record books, and I'm thinking that happened. I think that may have happened like twice, but Philadelphia, no, they have not had 3 consecutive days of 100 degree highs. Believe it or not. So today they got the best they could do was 3 days of 99 or higher, and that's what we got.
That's
Uh,
amazing that they have not. You'd figure with New York at 100 plus 3 consecutive days, Philadelphia certainly should have done it, but it's amazing to me that they never did.
Yeah, just give me a second, Joe. I'm just having a little bit of a problem here trying to get this map up with the high temperatures. There we go. And you can see it. 102 at Kennedy. Islip, I think, got to 99. I have this is we'll get a little tighter. I'll put up more numbers if it will allow me. There you go. So you can see some of the numbers a little more close up. With respect to the highs today. Norwalk got to 100, Islip got to 99, Newark got to 100, LaGuardia got to 99, New York City 95 for the high there. And further south, we take it down, Philadelphia, Trenton 97, a couple of 99s scattered in southern New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania, 102 at the C&D Canal Bridge in Delaware, and I-83 in Maryland, at Maryland Route 180, 137, 100. And up to the north in New England today, Hartford, Windsor Locks at 95, Brainerd 97, 95 for Boston after getting to 100 yesterday. Worcester only getting to 90 today at Worcester. Uh, I'm not sure why. And Chicopee Falls, 95. Westfield, which is just west of Springfield, got to 97. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, Worcester was 90 for a high. And in the Hudson Valley, we had 90. Where's Poughkeepsie? Poughkeepsie, for some reason, is not on here. Newburgh got to 97. And Albany, 92. So I'll say it again, like I said yesterday. I don't know what kind of media mania we'll have if we ever wind up having, and someday I'm sure we will, when we wind up having one of those 10, 11, 12-day heat waves of 90 degrees plus.
Well, Monday here at the home base, we had 100 degrees. Yesterday we had 99, and today we topped off at 98. So we're cooling off by increments of 1 degree a day. Although tomorrow, Joe, I suspect that the cool down will be in an increment of 20 degrees because I think
Yes.
tomorrow we're probably going to see temperatures no higher than the upper 70s. And on Friday, you may have a tough time breaking 70 degrees. So a big cool down is coming.
Yes, it is the blessing of the onshore flow. We still have some heat advisories and extreme heat warnings that are up to the south. There'll be a bunch of these are going to get taken down shortly. Others will remain in areas to the south. We also have a severe thunderstorm watch up for me here in North Georgia covering much of northeast and east central Georgia, I guess you want to call it, and that extends into much of the great state of South Carolina and North Carolina. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch crossing Nebraska into Iowa, with a tornado watch in southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa, and western Wisconsin. And that is also coupled with flash flood watches that are up. And we have flash flood watches up again for much of New Mexico, which has been dealing with moisture that has been coming up from the south. I just want to look and see. There's some green on the Hawaiian Islands for some reason. Oh, coastal flooding apparently is a problem for all of the islands of Hawaii. Let's see why. Um, Peak month high tides combined with water levels that are running higher than predicted will lead to minor coastal flooding of the shoreline in low-lying coastal areas at high tide. Okay, well that's good to
But we are
know.
actually we're at new moon right now, so
Oh,
we
okay.
do have spring or astronomically higher than normal tides. So that may be inducing a higher water level, not just on Hawaii, but most everywhere along the beaches of the Atlantic coast.
Welcome to everybody on the chat board tonight, and for those of you lurking in the background, we welcome you too. Sending out big hugs. The Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast is here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m., with Friday and Saturday being off days, as they will be this weekend, this coming Friday and Saturday. So subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss us. And of course, if you like the show, hit the like button, and don't be shy and join the chat board. I mean, just come in and get involved in the conversation. You can send me, post up your questions, and if I manage to keep my eyes on the chat board and I catch it, we'll address whatever it is you want to talk about. All right. We've got, it's kind of, it's got a summer look to it. You have thunderstorms that have developed, and Joe's going to do the radars in just a second. He's getting them ready even as we speak, so that when we switch over to the maps, we'll go from my map to his map. You'll see lightning strikes from thunderstorms in North Carolina are actually moving southwestward. So I had a thunderstorm here about right around 5 o'clock, and something very close to me got hit by lightning because we heard a very big kaboom, and the lights went off and then came right back on, thankfully. But more storms on the way for me, and there are some storms also. You see lightning strikes across parts of Pennsylvania, down into Maryland and West Virginia. Some also in parts of Illinois and Indiana, along the Gulf Coast, back through Texas. Nothing really too organized. They are mostly scattered in nature, although what's going on in North Carolina now is actually a line of storms. And you don't see this too often when you get a line of storms and they're moving from northeast to southwest. Most of the time it's either west to east or southwest to northeast, but this line is actually moving northeast to southwest. And that is what I am waiting for here. But as I said, it's Rayo's radars tonight, and Joe has got a ton of them.
Yes. Well, let me just make sure that that I have is the sharing capability on. It's
Oh,
not
no, that's
turned
my
on.
fault. Then it's my fault. Hold on. Sorry. Oops. Hold on. Now the sharing capability is on. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let us share our views. First of all, let's start up here in the beautiful Northeast, and we will start with our friends at Upton, the New York City radar. And I don't know, everything is kind of on this radar, kind of wonky, if you will, for a time. But it does show that there is some activity near the Pennsylvania New Jersey border in the final few frames of the loop, and nothing really impressive. There were a few localized cells that were passing across portions of Rockland and northern Westchester counties, but again, a little wonky here on some of the frames. I should point out that the front that is going to be bringing the relief, the ushering in the change in the wind flow into the east and northeast, the cooler temperatures that we're anticipating, that front is now practically on top of New York and Long Island. So I would suspect that we are not going to see much in the way of convection, at least across the Hudson Valley. While there could be an isolated pop-up storm. If we see any thunderstorms in the coming hours, it's probably going to concentrate from New York City on through central and south Jersey. As you can see, most of the activity right now is over the western end of New Jersey into eastern Pennsylvania. We can go to.
By the way, while you're switching, let me just jump in really quick. I'm hearing thunder. Just started, so if the show disappears, you'll know why. Okay, just wanted to let everybody know. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right. So yeah, this thing is doing it, I guess, on all the radar scans. This wonkiness, if you will, but you could see that again. Showers and storms over portions of southeastern Pennsylvania. They're tracking on a northwest southeast path, probably the Philadelphia area and places north of Philadelphia will be encountering these in the coming minutes. There are also some showers and storms, just minor clusters over into central Maryland and also in southern Maryland as well. I want to get down to North Carolina, where Joe showed that very impressive line of showers and thunderstorms, and you can see it, developing here. In fact, I should have gone a little further south. Let me go down to Columbia, South Carolina, and you can see how this line just organizes. Look at this. And again, as Joe pointed out, the movement is from an unusual direction, from northeast to southwest. So folks in Columbia, South Carolina, they're probably going to be experiencing in the next hour or so some of these rather potent thunderstorms working its way down and in again from the northeast. Now for Joe, who just said that he heard some thunder, let's go over to, let's try, come on. Well, all of a sudden now nothing is happening here.
There you go.
Here we go. Spartanburg radar, and they are getting some thunderstorms there. And notice, if you will, right here, there's a little minor, potent area of thunderstorm activity. There's another area here in the extreme, and I do mean extreme northeast corner of Georgia. And so, Joe, looks like you're surrounded by
Could be.
potential.
Well, and it's probably not showing all the echoes because the mountains here have a habit of like shading some of this stuff. Try looking at the Peachtree radar.
I will. It's really, the thing is, unfortunate that all of the radars are being affected by this. Now
you see that line that's to the northeast of me. It just
Yeah,
comes on the screen right at the end, so it's in that I'm hearing. It's not that those thunderstorms are close, but they're not that close. Because I'm maybe more to the west of where your mouse is. You go a little further west, you'll see. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. So there's some,
right there.
yeah. So that's exactly. So I'm ready and waiting for them to arrive.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go myself to the GOES imagery here for a moment. Hang on for a second, and let's go to this. What did I just do? This is not what I wanted.
I have no idea.
Oh, I know what happened. All right. Sorry about that. Come on. My fingers aren't as fast as they used to be.
None of us are as fast as we used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do a close-up here. Now look at that. Look at that. That, again, is the line that Joe was talking about going from northwest to southeast. And it's right along the South Carolina, North Carolina border. It's almost like a snake. It snakes right along the boundary zone of North Carolina and South Carolina, all the way out to almost the Georgia.
That's the cell where I'm hearing the thunder. Right at there at the end. Yeah,
Right
that's
there,
the one.
right
Yeah.
there. And that cell is apparently intensifying. It's getting noticeably more potent, and it is moving on a slow southerly course. So, Joe, that's probably going to be for you in sometime in the next 30 minutes or so. So,
All
I hope
right.
you still have power. But look at that. It is really a. It starts from near the outer banks of North Carolina, stretches on down along the coastline, reaches the South Carolina border, and then right along the North Carolina South Carolina border, all the way across the northern tier of South Carolina to just about the northeast corner of Georgia. Really, that is one snaky, potent line of storms. Wow.
It sure is. All right, very good. Um, I got a wider view here, so I'll bring that up. And you can. There's also a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued across South Carolina, from the coast all the way back almost to the Georgia-Tennessee state lines. And then again, that whole area, as Joe pointed out, moving northeast to southwest. Also seeing some storms along the Florida Panhandle and some severe thunderstorm warnings there. We've got activity with a line of storms from Wisconsin southwestward into Nebraska. This is the area where we have severe thunderstorm watches and tornado watches up. And you can see the yellow boxes are popping up here and there, and the green boxes indicative of flash flood warnings. Also, we do have some scattered showers and storms extending from Illinois across Indiana, Ohio to Pennsylvania. So that's part of that backdoor frontal boundary. But again, not a solid line, but you can see the patches there. There's some places getting them, other places not so much, as they slide slowly southeastward. In Texas, we're looking at some showers and downpours in East Texas, while in West Texas, the same thing into New Mexico, although a little bit less than yesterday in New Mexico, but we do have some downpours, and there was one flash flood warning up there. And then up through eastern Wyoming into Montana and western South Dakota, we've got a peppering of showers and thunderstorms and some severe weather. And just as a reminder, folks, it's 7:59 p.m. Eastern Time. We're just about to take to 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So if you're watching this on a replay, obviously it's old data, so you may want to go to weather.gov to your local National Weather Service forecast office to check on any severe weather that could be going on in your neck of the woods. The Storm Prediction Center has enhanced risk in South Carolina and into northeast Georgia. That's me with the severe thunderstorm watch in the blue box. Also, the slight risk with the severe thunderstorm and tornado watch going from Nebraska to Wisconsin, and everybody else is kind of peppered in either marginal risk or into general thunderstorms. Tomorrow, we're going to take it down a notch, at least for now. Marginal risk along the East Coast basically from central and southern Pennsylvania southward, all the way down to Florida, and then across the Gulf states west to Mississippi. Also, arcing back across the northern parts of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and kind of curls back southward across Iowa, down through Kansas, and into Oklahoma. And then another area of marginal risk up in the great state of Montana. And then for day three, which is going to be Friday into Saturday, we have a marginal risk again from Florida, covering Georgia, eastern Alabama, eastern Tennessee and Kentucky, West Virginia, and much of North and South Carolina, except just general thunderstorm risk along the coast, and then a marginal to slight risk in the Dakotas. And there's probably going to be a little bit of tornado action with that. And rainfall, so this carry us, this is where it gets tricky with these forecast rainfall amounts, because so much of this is convective. And while you can try to sort of draw as smooth a map as you can in a situation like this, there is going to be quite a bit of variability, both on the downside and on the upside. So WPC from me, northern Georgia, up the Appalachians, then it goes across Virginia, and then up through Pennsylvania, parts of southern New Jersey, then again up into northern Vermont, and northern New York, northern Vermont, and northern New Hampshire. Anywhere from an inch and a half to some places 2 or 3 inches of rain being forecast. Everybody else surrounding that is anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half. But you're going to get variability. Some places are going to wind up getting double the forecast if they get some stronger thunderstorms that sit around for a while, and again that would be for local areas, and other areas could wind up with less. Across the Great Lakes, you're looking at showers and thunderstorms that are a bit more numerous, but there's still a fair amount of rain being forecast from southern Minnesota and Wisconsin and Nebraska northeastward up to the upper peninsula of Michigan. We're looking at up to a few inches of rain over the next 7 days. Some rain in the Rockies, southern and central. Not much going on in the west. The Gulf Coast, particularly the Panhandle, in an area of 5 inches plus, area of 5 to 7 inches along the Florida Panhandle, and going back to coastal Alabama and Mississippi and extreme southeast Louisiana. So it's all about the backdoor front, Mr. Rayo, and this high that builds into eastern Canada. Thursday, the onshore flow sets up nicely across New England. That's probably where you're going to see the biggest temperature changes because they were up at 100 yesterday, and some places tomorrow are going to probably be uh, well down into the 60s, and that cool air is going to bleed southward. The European does suggest some thunderstorms along that frontal boundary, and you see them there in Pennsylvania and New York State. You also see them firing up in South Carolina and Georgia and moving northwestward, oddly enough. But that's how it works. And then you also see that area in Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. And some of that's probably going to be severe weather as we head into Thursday night. Friday, I could see Friday where there's probably going to not much is going to happen as far as showers and storms, but there probably will be a lot of clouds. You have to wonder whether there might be a little bit of patchy light rain or drizzle around. And there goes another
I agree on
kaboom.
that.
What's that?
I would agree. I said spotty. I didn't know quite how to word it on Friday, so I just said spotty showers. Actually, I think of the 2 days, Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow may actually be the drier day because, again,
Yeah.
I agree with you that to Friday there may be some spots here and there of drizzle or light rain. Not everybody's going to get that, but you know, it's due primarily to that east northeasterly, that moist airflow that will be coming in. And tomorrow, again, the one thing that is going to be significant, I think, will be the humidity. The humidity will and the dew point will probably drop into the 50s tomorrow, and that combined with the 20-degree or more drop in temperature will make tomorrow really almost an invigorating, a refreshing day compared to the last three.
The situation for Saturday is that the wind is going to go more south. That probably will allow temperatures to try to climb, depending on how much cloud cover there is. And then you have to wonder whether there's going to be some showers and storms later in the day, Friday into Friday night. The European picks up on some stuff inland, although it weakens it when it gets to the coastline. Well, who knows? Meanwhile, we're getting a lot of afternoon and evening shower and thunderstorm development in the Appalachians down into the southeast and into the Gulf Coast again. And then everything tries to move along so that Sunday, eh, I don't know. Sunday, it's sort of a weak pressure pattern, neither low pressure or high pressure, just sort of a weak, indifferent sort of pattern. So I guess you have to throw in the chance that there could be a shower or storm even on Sunday, although I would say it's probably a low chance and mainly more south than north. And then just to peek into next week, showers and storms around Monday. Then we got what looks like a stronger front for Tuesday with showers and storms. And maybe that'll be a severe weather day. We'll see. Wednesday looks good. Thursday looks okay. And the 4th of July, well, the 4th of July's got some kind of weak front in upstate New York that drops southward during the day, but the storms seem to fall apart before they get to the coast. And the rest of that week, it has more showers and storms coming in for later Saturday and for Sunday, July 6th. I know that's going way out ahead, but it is a 3 day. 4th of July being on a Friday means it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of weekend, Joe. So I'm sure there are going to be a lot of folks um, vacationing or doing all sorts of things for that particular holiday. So they're going to ask the question anyway, and therefore it's an early look at the 4th of July holiday weekend. That's about as good as we're going to get here.
Indeed, indeed. Now, last night at 11 o'clock, Central Park was sitting at 91 degrees
Yeah,
at
that's
11 o'clock at night.
disgusting. I mean, that is just. I mean, that's just wrong. Don't you think that's wrong? It's just wrong.
Yes, it's
What was the
terrible.
low? What was the low this morning?
I'm not sure what the low was this morning. I can
Let
probably
me
look
let
it
me
up.
see what the lows were. As impressive as the highs are, sometimes the low. Looking at the low temperatures, I'll see if the station plot still has them.
I want to
Yeah,
tell
they
you there's one.
do. So, it looks like Newark's low was 84. LaGuardia's low was 81. Islip's low was 77. And Eastern Long Island, most of Montauk's low was only 79. And Central Park's low was 82. That's one thing I have noticed in years where when it gets hot now, and we know everybody knows that the nights have been getting warmer. Um, the daytime highs not so much, but the nights are getting warmer. Um, we seem to be getting a lot more of these nights where it doesn't get below 80, much more now than we used to.
Well, I can tell you right now at Newark Airport, the temperature at Newark is at this hour 96 degrees.
Uh,
At this hour at Central Park, 88,
right.
91 at LaGuardia. I want to make sure here I'm getting it correctly. JFK right now is 82 degrees,
Ugh.
82. And if we go further north, let's go up to White Plains. If I can find White Plains here on this map, um, HPN, they are at 82. So you can see as you go further north, you're getting into somewhat, if you can call 82 cooler. It is getting cooler. Let's see, Chappaqua, 79. There's a weather station, a cooperative observer station at Chappaqua at 79 degrees. And let's go further north, and we can find Lake Carmel, 80 degrees. So, yeah, so it's getting cooler slowly but surely from the north and northeast. And as I said, that front that will break the back of this heat wave pretty much right now appears to be right literally over New York. In fact, the late Tex Antoine would probably say he'd probably call it the 125th Street cold front. So places north of there, north of 125th Street, is more cooler as opposed to places south of there. And as you just said, as I just said, 96 still at Newark Airport.
By the way, here in North Georgia, I was looking at Blairsville, the airport. 91 was the high today there, and the low was 66. So we get down, even on the warmest nights here where I am, we get down into the low and mid 60s, which I can live with. Anyway, let's do some Briller Jeopardy, shall we?
And I believe I have the questions tonight.
You do.
Let me
You
see if I can.
do.
Yes, I know. Give me a chance. I will
Joe,
find them.
I will wait for you patiently.
Yes. Now, continuing, here we go. Continuing here on the highest temperature ever recorded in each of the following states. And here we go. We'll start with New Mexico. New Mexico.
New Mexico?
Highest temperature ever recorded in New Mexico.
How about, I'm going to take a stab at this. I'm going to go, how about $1.25?
That is a very good guess. It's not quite right. It's a little bit on the high side, but it's pretty darn close.
Well, David Daniel and Latex Dreams have $1.23.
And that's even closer. In fact, that's right
And
in snake country.
La Croce's got 122.
And there it is.
A buck
Mr.
22.
Croce, 122. There you go. How about right here in the Empire State, New York, hottest temperature ever recorded in New York?
I want to say, and I bet you it's probably somewhere upstate. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 108.
Joe, unfortunately, the chairman did not give me the. Oh, wait a minute, he did. He did. The only one of the five, but he did tell me which place got to 108, and it was in Troy.
Troy. Okay.
Helen loves
Helen
to
of
go to
Troy.
Troy.
Yes.
Yeah. How about North Carolina?
North Carolina. I'll say 112.
Wait a minute, I just lost it. Where is it?
You
No.
lost it?
Okay. No, I didn't lose it. Uh, Good guess. A little on the high side.
Okay. Rich Rothmansky says a buck 10.
Wortmansky gets it with
110.
110 degrees. There you go. How about another north? This is in Dakota, North Dakota.
Oh, I'm sure it's probably a big number. I'll say, hmm. I'm trying to decide if I should go, you know, above the teens there. I'll say 120.
First of all, it's good that you went higher than North Carolina. A lot of people probably would say of the two, North Carolina and North Dakota, that North Carolina had the higher temperature. Wrong. By far and away, hands down, the hotter of the two states is North Dakota. What did you say for the high?
I said a buck 20.
You were just a shade too cool. You were in snake country.
Okay, so Leon of Lindenhurst, buck 21.
121.
And also Mrs. Hutch at 121.
Mrs. Hutch, Renata's cousin. There you go, Mrs. Hutch, Maria Hutchinson, actually. So there you go. Now the last one is the hottest temperature ever recorded in Ohio.
All right, so I'm going to say, so North Carolina, what was North Carolina? 112?
North Carolina was 110.
110?
Yes.
I'll say for Ohio, I'll say 116.
That's a good guess, but it's a bit too high.
Too high. Okay. Frank R said 114. And Mrs. Hutch at 115. Leon of Lindenhurst 111. Kenny Salerno 113.
There you go. And Mike Waterhouse Bunzai, 113. And it just so happens, Joe, that I happen to know the place where the 113 was set. And even though Scott didn't provide it, I just know it because I still do. I still know this young lady and knew her quite well when we first met back in the 1970s from Gallipolis, Ohio. Gallipolis, Ohio, 113, and that is the all-time high temperature for the state of Ohio, 113. Used to, get a chuckle at the fact, what happens when you call the police department at Gallipolis? How do they answer the phone? Gallipolis police.
Right. Exactly. All right. I guess we're done, which is
Yes.
good. So I beat the thunderstorm before it gets to me. I'm hearing globs. I'm hearing bangs of thunder out there still, though it hasn't started raining. So let's call it a day before the electric company pulls the plug. And we will see you all tomorrow night at 7:35 p.m. to finish off the week. So
Finish off the week, and tonight the heat wave is getting finished off. But and Dennis Cassio also had 113 for Ohio, so I forgot to mention him. In fact, I'm going to give Dennis a ring. There you go, Dennis. Didn't want to forget you.
And happy birthday to June Lockhart.
Yes.
All right, Joe. We'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, everybody. Night, night.